Good morning, friends. This is Durga from itversity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. So this YouTube live session is primarily for explaining changes to CCA, Spark, and Hadoop developer. I know many of you guys are actually following itversity to prepare for CCA certification, and even some of you have actually and some of them you actually even registered for the exam and waiting to give the exam. And there are some significant changes as part of the curriculum, and I'll be going to cover those things. So let us wait for a minute and then we'll start. Okay, people are still joining. So let's give us a minute and we will start. Okay, so I hope every one of you can see my screen and listen to me. So let's get started. We have enough people now. Almost 33 people have joined the session. And I have shared the details on YouTube Live, Facebook as well as LinkedIn, so that people can join. So this is the agenda. It is primarily about changes with respect to Cloudera certification. I will go to the official page and try to explain what they're talking about. And if you have any questions while the discussion is going on, you guys can use this YouTube Live page in your browser, and on the right side you see the live chat, and you can start commenting over here, and I will be seeing those, and I will try to respond as many questions as possible. The session will go for 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, so let's get started. Just to go for CCA, Spark, and Hadoop developer official page by googling CCA, Spark, and Hadoop developer. So this is the official page. And here you can see the details. I will go through the entire stuff. Here, the first thing what they're talking about is there can be 8 to 12 performance-based hands-on tasks on Cloudera Enterprise cluster. So they will be providing you a cluster, and then they will ask 8 to 12 questions, and you have to attempt those. And time limit is 120 minutes, and you need to get 70% of the questions right. And exam is primarily conducted in English, and $300 is the price. And if you want to check the full cluster configuration, you can scroll down and see what we have on the cluster. So they will be conducting exam on 5.10.0. Okay, each user given their own CDH5 cluster preloaded with Spark 1.6, Impala, Crunch, Hive, Pig, Scoop, Kafka, Flume, Kite, Hue, Woozy, Datafoo, and many others. You can see the full list over here. But out of these things, we need to be worried about only Spark 1.6, a little bit of Hive, Scoop, Kafka, and Flume. Rest of the stuff are not that important. On top of this, they will give you a remote desktop, which will have the access to the cluster. So on the remote desktop, it is a Linux-based desktop, and we will have the IDEs. IntelliJ IDE is one, Sublime is another, Eclipse, NetBeans. All these IDEs will be provided. And when it comes to Python also, there should be some IDE. I'm not sure whether any of these are Python IDEs. Anyway, all these things will be available for you in the remote desktop, which you will be logging in to attempt the questions. Okay, so keep in mind that you have to do remote desktop, and from there you have to run, develop, and run the jobs, and you will have cluster from the remote desktop. Anyway, you will understand once you start following my content how it works. I don't want to waste a lot of time over here. So next important stuff you need to understand is exam question format. So each CCA question requires you to solve a particular scenario. So they will give a scenario and you have to solve it. In some cases, a tool such as Impala or Hive may be used. So you can use Hive or Impala if it is required. In other cases, coding is required. And actually, they haven't emphasized on Scoop. Primarily, it is either Scoop commands, Scala or Python-based Spark programs. Those two are the main things as per the new and as per the after the changes in the certification curriculum. The question format did not change; it was same even earlier. Going forward, also the question format will be same. Is in the curriculum, and we will see what are those changes in the curriculum in a moment. For the questions, especially for Spark, they might provide you template, okay, and the templates might be in Scala or Python. And but if you don't know Python and if you want to develop only in Scala, or if you don't know Scala and if you want to develop only in Python, you can choose the programming language of your choice, okay. But there is a warning saying that if you are not very fast at coding, probably using templates can save you time. And this is one evaluation, score reporting, and certificate. There are no changes in that. And then audience and prerequisites. There are no prerequisites. Anyone can take the exam. But if you want to gain confidence, Cloudera have their own training. Take this, or you can follow itversity videos to prepare for the certification, which is free, and we provide labs for very low cost. The content is free, and we have the proven track record of hundreds of people clearing this certification. I will show those statistics in a moment, but let us see. Let us click on this link and see what we're actually covering in this training. It will give some clarity curriculum later. So let's start with I have already downloaded. Let me click on it, and this is the curriculum they're talking about. Okay, so I'll come back to this in a moment. You need to be familiar with most of these things, and you should match this with the curriculum they are talking about as part of the certification. Let's get into the certification required skills. So there was no configuration earlier. They have added this. Okay, if you are already familiar with syllabus, configuration is newly. On top of it, comes to data analysis. It used to be Hive, Impala, and Avro earlier. Now it is Spark SQL. So we'll get to this in a moment. I just try to cover the differences with the older curriculum and the new curriculum. At the higher level, these two are the differences. Data analysis, they actually dumped Hive, Impala, and Avro completely, and they're primarily focusing on Spark SQL. And they have added this new higher category called where sub-objective. Now, and also there are some changes in data ingest, which I will be covering. Everything else is same except this one line: process streaming data as it is loaded onto the cluster. So which means that understand so the direct mapping with the technology in this. But if you really understand these two, ingest real-time and near real-time streaming data into HDFS and process streaming data as it is loaded onto the cluster, and also if you compare with the curriculum. So this is the curriculum. So this is the document for the curriculum of their course, of Cloudera's course. And if you see, for processing, they are covering Flume and Kafka. Means to process data in real time, they are covering Flume and Kafka, and also Spark streaming. So these two ingest real-time and near real-time streaming data into HDFS and process streaming data as well. You need to have knowledge on Flume, Kafka, as well as Spark streaming. And rest of the stuff is same, scoop, and then HDFS commands to load the data back and forth between local file system and HDFS. Transform, stage, and store. Here, they are primarily talking about loading data from HDFS for use in Spark applications. So it was there even before. So and then the next one is writing the results from an RDD back into HDFS using Spark. So earlier these two used to be one sub-objective under transform, stage, and store. Now they have broken into loading the RDD from HDFS for use in Spark applications and also writing back into HDFS. And this third of significance, they're talking about read and write files in a variety of file formats. You need to have deeper knowledge about file formats, and you should be able to start using file formats such as sequence file, object file. Object file is only relevant to Scala, not Python, so they might not emphasize a lot on object file, but you should know about other file formats like JSON and all those things. And then perform standard extract, transform, load process on data, which means that you should know Spark APIs such as transformations and actions, which is same as the earlier tasks or earlier objectives in this section, where they talk about joining the data sets, filtering the data sets using a core Spark API, aggregating the results, etc. Okay. So here, even though they changed the verbiage, only difference is reading and writing files in a variety of file formats. Other than that, you should have good knowledge of Spark transformations and actions to accomplish whatever task that will be given as part of transform, stage, and store. Okay, and then comes data analysis. Here they used to use Hive, Impala, and Avro, and primarily they used to focus on the DDL and data load commands in Hive and Impala. Now they dumped Hive and Impala completely as part of this certification, and they're primarily focusing on Spark SQL to interact with the Metastore programmatically in our applications. So only area where Hive is relevant is with respect to Metastore. Okay, so you just need to understand how to deal with Hive Metastore to access tables which are already in Hive and write queries on top of it. And also they are talking about generating reports by using queries against loaded data. So once the data is in the tables, how to query those things. So as part of the subtopics, you should be able to, so there won't be any DDL commands as per the syllabus, but you should be able to use Metastore tables as an input source or an output sink for Spark applications. Understand the fundamentals of querying datasets in Spark, which means Spark SQL. Filter, which means where condition. Writing aggregate statistics. Joining disparate datasets using Spark. Produce ranked or sorted data. So these things needs to be done in Spark SQL. And under this perform standard extract, transformation, transform, load process or ETL process, all these things you should be confident in doing using a core Spark API also, which is Spark transformation and actions. Finally, when it comes to configuration, they are primarily focusing on how you actually start the Spark shell to submit the jobs. One main thing they have emphasized is increasing available memory. Things also like increasing the number of execution, number of executors, etc. So we need to understand how to launch Spark shell to give as much resources as we want. So this is the curriculum, and the major difference is that earlier the test was conducted on Spark 1.2. At that time, Spark SQL is not so matured, so they didn't emphasize a lot on Spark SQL. Now they want to give the cluster of Spark 1.6, and hence, as data frames is matured by 1.6, they started pushing data frames. Okay, so let me check if there are any questions, and I will get back to Okay, it seems there are some issues with the streaming. Are you guys able to see the screen now, or still do you have any issues? Because okay, if it is blurry, you might have to increase the resolution. Uh, okay. One more thing is, even if there are any issues, the streaming will be proper, so you don't need to be worry much. Okay, and if it is blurry, change your resolution to 120 by clicking. So somewhere here you will see the resolution, and change it. And also once the streaming is done, it will be clear. And also I will be conducting one more live session on the same topic at 10:30 today, which is approximately in 3 hours, and you can join at the time also if something is bad with the streaming. So now let me take any questions. So one question is, are you going to share updated playlist on CCA 175? I'll come back to that. We already have so much of resources. We almost 90% of the content to handle it properly. That's it. Okay. So if you are following me thoroughly, recently I started a playlist which says Big Data Workshop Live Training 2017 February. Okay. So in this, as of now, I'm talking about Spark. And whatever, except for Spark streaming and Kafka, whatever is relevant with respect to Spark as per the new curriculum will be as part of this list, and this will be ready by next week. Okay, actually this week, in 2 or 3 more sessions, I'll be covering Spark SQL also. So you will have, if you follow this playlist, you are good to go. Also, what I will do is, this is a short-term thing. Eventually, I will have something like CCA 175 playlist. So if you say CCA 175 here, and if you see the playlist, there are 92 videos, which are shorter and crisper videos. To replace the videos in this as per the new curriculum, it will take some time, around 4 weeks to 6 weeks. Okay, till then, what I will do, I might clean this up once the other one, February 2017, once we complete all the relevant topics with respect to certification, I will clean this up temporarily and add these videos to that playlist. Search for CCA 175 and start preparing using the videos. But to create videos like this and create the course like the way we have as part of our website, which is this one, itversity.com, courses CCA Spark and Hadoop Developer. So this needs to be this needs to be modified quite significantly. Take care within next 4 to 6 weeks. But for next couple of weeks, within next couple of weeks, we have a lot of content already which is relevant to certification, and it will be ready within 2 weeks as part of this playlist. I'll be covering Kafka as well as Spark streaming also within next couple of weeks. Okay. That's what Ashutosh. We haven't published anything on Kafka yet, but I will be taking care in next couple of weeks. So Shitanshu, you should contact Cloudera folks to see if you can give it in the older format. If you cannot give in older format, then you have to reschedule the exam, prepare on Kafka and other areas, and then you can go for it. Anil, it applies same to you. If you have exam next week, contact Cloudera. What will be your curriculum? and then if they change it to 1.6 and if they change the curriculum, to wait. But you should seek the clarification from them why they have changed all of a sudden with so many changes in the exam. Okay, let me copy paste this URL. So if you want to prepare for the changed curriculum, you just go to this playlist. Okay, and I will update this blog. So don't worry too much about that. You will, yeah, actually the blog is already updated. You just follow this playlist, and 100% of the syllabus will be covered in a couple of weeks, or mostly at the max 3 weeks. Okay, already if you look at the blog, I will recommend you to go to this blog. Okay, Anil, what Claudia has said. So the question from Piyush is, in new exam, do we have to code in Eclipse? No, you don't need to code in Eclipse. It's not about your Eclipse or SBT. It's primarily about Spark and Scala, or whatever programming language you choose. You just have to use whatever editor you are comfortable with and submit the code. Focusing on SBT, building the jar file and submitting the jar file. I don't think that will be the case. So what is that? What is the response, Nikhil? Okay. So Anil actually said that if you wish to make sure that your exam is with the latest version of our products, wait the schedule your exam until April. Okay. Okay. So what Anil is saying is, so this is the response he got from Cloudera. It is, if you wish to make sure that your exam is with the latest versions of our products, wait to schedule your exam until April. If you wish to take the exam with the old version, then schedule. And schedule immediate. We'll be making changes as soon as we can guarantee a proper exam and without any further warning. So this is a little bit risky. So they are saying that before April, most likely your exam will be of older format, but they might change even before. Beyond April, most likely the exam will be in the newer format. So let me tell my recommendation, Anil and Nikhil. If you haven't given the certification yet, and if you don't need to finish this or some other commitment, I will highly recommend you to wait, because the new curriculum is much better than older curriculum. It's more Spark oriented, and also they have included Kafka and Spark streaming. So I will recommend you to wait until April if it is not required to give immediately. So that will be my recommendation to everyone. Even though Cloudera messed up by not rolling out or not communicating very effectively to all the people, to this official page, there is nothing which they have mentioned about the changes between or the transition plan from older curriculum to the newer curriculum. They just say that CCA Hadoop, Spark and Hadoop developer certification, and schedule your exam. And even they didn't change the name of the certification. So they're not very clear in the communication. Even though they messed up with that, I will highly recommend to wait until April or reschedule till April and go with the newer syllabus than going with older syllabus, because the new syllabus have Spark SQL, data frames, Spark streaming, Kafka, etc. Okay. And my guess will be, if you ask my guess, how many questions will be there in each and every area. Scoop, there might be 2 to 3 questions, and 5 to 6 questions or 4 to 6 questions in transform stage and store and data analysis, which is nothing but both Spark core APIs as well as Spark SQL. And probably 1 or 2 questions they might focus on this area also. Okay, so make sure you prepare well in all the other areas, and be as comfortable as Spark streaming and Kafka as well as Flume. Okay, that's my guess. My guess is there will be 2 to 3 questions on Scoop, then 4 to 6 questions on transform stage and store and data analysis, which is complete Spark, and 1 or 2 questions on this area. Okay, and out of those 4 to 6 Spark based questions, 1 question could be about changing the configuration while running the script. Okay, so if you have any questions, Anil is recommending to go to Cloudera community chat. For processing streaming, which one we have to consider? Kafka, Flume, Spark streaming. So Kafka, Flume are data ingestion tools, and Spark streaming is to process the data. So if you look into the syllabus, real-time and near real-time streaming data into HDFS. So this categorizes under data ingestion, and this covers both Flume and Kafka. Okay, and why I am saying both Flume and Kafka? If you go to their official course, already opened here. Okay, here they are talking about message processing with Apache Kafka, capturing data with Apache Flume, and integrating Apache Flume and Apache Kafka. By seeing this, I can confidently say that they're talking about Flume and Kafka with just this statement. And then processing streaming data is more of the concept of Spark streaming. Again, if you go to curriculum, here, Apache Spark streaming, processing with multiple batches, different data sources, and those data sources can be Flume and Apache Kafka data sources. So it covers both. The first statement covers Flume and Kafka, which is data ingestion. And while ingesting data, if you have to process, then you have to use Spark streaming. Okay. And then Nikhil is saying there is one more thing they have replied. Questions typically follow business requirements such as what hotel exists in Florida. They typically do not specify any approach that you must follow. Okay, and these are all informational purposes, and these things you will I will try to cover as part of the wrap up videos. I will take this as input, and I will communicate with the folks as part of the main course. Okay. Okay, thank you, Nikhil. Nikhil have provided a lot of valid information. Unfortunately, this chart will not be saved in the comment section. I will try to see if I can save it somewhere. Pop out chart. Probably this might let me save. No, it is not letting me save. Okay, I will have a copy of this so that we capture all the relevant information which is followed, which is shared by people. Okay. Thank you, Nikhil. I will go to the forum. Or if you have the link, just okay, there is the link. Can you give the, okay, I think this is the complete link. Let me share this and see if we can get any information in that. It is saying page not found. Probably I might have to sign in, I'm not sure. Okay, community.cloudera.com. CCA. Trying to fund. Okay, nothing which is relevant to this. So let me check the chart and see if I can. Okay. No. Okay, CCA 175 required skills. Okay, I got it. Okay, probably you guys should follow this, and you guys should start asking the questions over here so that people respond. Okay, so you can follow this, and yeah, you can start posting questions here. So go to the bottom. So I have anyway, that's fine. We can take it offline also. As of now, I covered all the important information which needs to be which needs to be understood. Now let me move on to the how itversity can help you. So as I have explained, the videos will be available as part of this playlist. This is the temporary arrangement until I create the course out of it, the way we have done earlier. And if you want to practice, apps.itversity.com, and one of the complaint I often get from the people is that we don't have Spark 1.2 on the cluster. Now it is easier for us. We don't need to worry about it because even though ours is not Cloudera cluster, we have Spark 1.6. So if I log into the lab, so before getting into that, so any of you, if you are interested in preparing for the certification and if you don't have enough resources, proper environment, then I will highly recommend you to go to labs.itversity.com, check the plans. Okay, let me open in incognito mode. So you can check the plans. Plans are $14.95 for 31 days, $34.95 for 93 days, and $54.95 for 185 days. I will highly recommend for all traditional Java programmers to at least go for and for all mainframes test professionals from testing background who want to transition into development and all, I will recommend to go for a 6-month plan. Okay, so choose the plan which is more relevant to you. And once you choose the plan, you can click on sign in. You can choose the plan by just clicking on sign in or sign up to sign in or sign up to actually enroll. So it's a 2-step process. So you can choose your email ID or enter your email ID and click on next. You can either use local authentication or social authentication. I'm using social authentication. If you already enrolled, you will see this screen. If you are not enrolled, this screen pop up immediately after logging in for the first time. And when you click on enroll now here, then it will actually take the payment, and then you will get where you get credentials to the lab. So this is the username, this is the password. You can copy this password. You can click on this open console. You have to use either Safari or Firefox, and then copy paste the username. So you can get the credentials from here also. So copy the username, hit enter, and then copy and paste the password. Then you will be able to log into the gateway node, and you can start learning. This is just for convenient purposes, and it will die if you are idle for 1 or 2 minutes. The more reliable approach is to use terminal putty. So I'm using Mac, so I'm using Mac terminal. This is Mac terminal, or you can use putty or Sigwin, whatever how to do SSH. Give the username which you copy from here. Host name is gw01.itversity.com. I'll update this page. Here I will have a label which will give the details about the host name. But for now, you just have to gw01.itversity.com. On open console, it will directly take you to the gw01.itversity.com only. By the console is pointing to that. And now it will prompt you for the password. Paste the password which you copied from here, and then let me copy password. It will be inside the lab. Okay, now you can actually say Spark shell version. Yeah, you can just launch Spark shell by saying Spark-shell. So if you want to use Scala, you can use Spark shell to practice. If you want to use Python, you can use PySpark to practice. And you decide, don't try to use both because the curriculum is a lot more intensive now. Both PySpark and Spark shell, which is Python and Scala based environments, set up using one .sync the version directly. Spark version or Spark-version. Spark shell -version. Let me see if it works. Yeah, now you'll see here. This is Spark version 1.6.2, and the certification is also conducted on 1.6.2. On top of that, you can go to Ambari, Works based management tool. Even though ours is not Cloudera, even though ours is Ambari, it doesn't matter to prepare for the certification. We'll use the cluster after enrolling, and you can start practicing all the components. We have Kafka in this, we have Flume, we have Spark, which is 1.6.2, and other topics also. So if you go back to the curriculum they have published, okay, as part of their course, they emphasize a lot on HDFS and YARN. You don't need to be worried too much about these things. You just have to understand the architecture, how it works, and etc. You don't need to write MapReduce jobs or whatever it is. You just have to focus on Spark, Scoop, Flume, Kafka, and that's it. Scoop, Flume, and Kafka, HDFS commands, and Spark, which includes core Spark APIs, Spark streaming, and Spark SQL as well. So only these things you need to be focused on. Other than that, you don't need to be worried about anything. And while practicing, whether you use our lab or not, if you follow our content and if you are practicing by yourself, obviously you will be getting questions. And if you have any questions, whether you signed up for our lab or not, whether you pay me for my live classes or not, still you can go to discuss.itversity.com and you can start writing your questions in this. You just have to create the new topic by clicking on new topic, give a title, choose the appropriate category, and start asking the questions. Before posting the question, you can check if there are any relevant questions. While typing itself, it will recommend on the right side. You just have to check those, and if they are relevant to you, you can get answers straight away. Otherwise, you can post the question, and there are army of volunteers who are taking up these questions and will be responding to you. Okay, so try to use the resources as effectively as you can. Okay, sorry that the streaming got dropped. I don't know when it got dropped. Let me see. I will try to repeat. So those who missed, and if you feel that you missed some important information, you can stay tuned. 10:30 a.m. India time today. I'll be covering the same topics. Okay, same details. So it just got dropped around 2 minutes back. Okay, so it got dropped at the beginning of the labs. I just covered the labs. I think most of you are aware of it. But anyway, I will be covering again at the 10:30. Okay, so stay tuned if you want to know more about labs and support. Okay, because I have to wrap up in few minutes. We'll catch up again at 10:30 session. So that being said, best of luck. I feel as of now, CCA 175 is the best certification because it covers Scoop, it covers several aspects of Spark. And then you have even Aurelie and Mapper. Even they are good. Aurelie certification with partnership with Databricks is good. But the drawback is it's all objective. In this case, it's subjective. So you will actually learn something serious to give the certification for CCA. Okay, so the Indian YouTuber is saying certification is made very easy for people working in production. That could be the case. Yes. So for US students, Kranti is asking, do you have any plans of conducting training for US students? Yes, it's already going on. There is a bi-weekly online session where I will be covering different topics. And you send me an email at training@itversity.com and I will share the details. And that is primarily for those who are in first semester or second semester of their MS degree. Shitanshu, I cannot promise. So skills is more important, and you have to keep on trying after clearing the exam. It will give enough confidence to face the interview and all those things. And the same is the case with Bearcat IT. If you have CCA 175 certification, it will help you in facing the interviews, and also it might help you in the screening process. Okay. Apart from that, well, it land you in the job. Landing into the job is a completely different aspect. At this time, I'm primarily focusing on providing training at as low cost as possible. And finding the job, it all depends upon your experience, your approach to apply for the jobs. But certification will definitely help you in the screening process. You will be given a little bit higher priority, and even at the time of giving the interview, you will be a lot more confidence. So I think you missed the earlier part of the session, Indian YouTuber. Under ETL, they are only talking about core Spark APIs, which are nothing but transformations and actions. Okay. So the join, the group by key, aggregate by key, those things. Okay. So that being said, I need to wrap up. Thank you very much for joining the session. If you like this, please click on the like. If you and help me sharing this with other folks, because a lot of guys are being preparing for a few months. And in case if they can wait, I will recommend to wait, and let's share the news to the people, and make sure that they get best out of the preparation and also the value after giving the certification. Okay, and also if you have any feedback, please leave in the comment section. And if I could not answer any of your questions, please shoot me an email at training@itversity.com. And I don't do that NS. I don't take mock interviews and all. I primarily focus on skills, and I don't know what that mock interviews will get to the people. I don't know. I don't think they will add much of a value unless you practice. It might help you a little bit to gain confidence, but no serious IT professional will spend time in taking mock interviews without any purpose or without any reason. You just have to start giving. You might fail 3 or 4 times. 5th time you will get it. Okay, that being said, thank you very much. Have a nice one. Bye.